the drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in. One love will churn your skin. The love is right. Let them have their time.
Good evening, race fans. Pirate here, Black Flag Racing. Here we are. We are just a few days away from the start of the GT Alphas GT3 World Championships. We are going to have some lovely full lobbies of some really high quality racing. This is the last chance to do it with a big group. We're going to do it live. This is going to be a very short quali race at the track for qualification, which is on Saturday at 8 PM. We're here at Big Willow Spring. We're going to do a very short 10-minute qualifying race here, and then a set by host grid for the first championship race, which will be Interlagos. It will be a full 40 minutes with the full race settings. Most cars now in full race trim. The liveries are out in force. We'll have a little look as we go on, but we are at the top of the hour and qualifying will begin immediately. I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't start. Let's give everyone the ready check. I haven't done the lobby covers yet and stuff, but that'll be ready for the weekend. Still a bit of artwork to get finished in time, but mostly all done. What do you guys think of the intro video? All right. A bit late now if you complain, because it's too late. It's done. It's finished. I think everybody's going to be ready. So I think without further ado, let's just get cracking and see how everyone gets on. Everyone's ticked in. Let's give it a whack. So we're going to start qualifying. Looking forward to this. It's a very interesting track, this. The reason we picked this in particular for the qualifying is a very good indicator of driving standards. It keeps everyone honest, because you make mistakes here and it's Desertsville all over the place. We've got a new over left course for this there we go, for this particular series. Right, let's get all the information up on screen. I'm going to get there. Display all. There we go. Right, sorted. Very, very short 5-minute quali just to set a grid for this particular race. Expected everybody to get out there. I haven't, there's a couple of things I still haven't set up yet. Live race timing, you'll notice, is not done yet. And the tyre and fuel overlay not quite finished yet. Didn't have time to do it. I was actually going to race this evening, but my wheel has broken. So no more racing for me until I can get a new steering wheel. So yeah, that's why this is being broadcast rather than me jumping in and having a little go myself. So there are a couple of broadcasting bits and pieces that are not where they should be, but we can get around that surely. Okay, so let's have a little look at who now of course people can still change their car between now and qualifying on Saturday, or well Friday, but at the moment it looks like everybody's in the race trim in the car they're going to do this season in. Slipstream, he's in that AMG GT3 in his full race trim. TJ, it looked like TJ was going all McLaren until last minute, and he switched it out and he's gone for the BMW M6. Good, that's a good solid choice for a car, I think. The real Osman, he's gone for, he's been all throughout, he's been on the Supra, nothing's changed, he's still in that Supra. Speed Freak from the United States, he's also gone for that Toyota Supra, and I love the livery on that, a lovely red and black livery. Avalon, I actually had money on him going for the 911, and it turns out that he's gone for the BMW. So interesting choice from Avalon. There is Captain Mills, and he's way off the track. He's opting for the GTR. Fubar, he loves that American muscle, and he's gone for the Corvette. Now the Corvette is a tricky beast, but he feels that he can get the consistency he needs out of that car, so good choice from him. Stormfly's flitted between, I think, 3 different choices in the run-up. He's currently in the McLaren, but I know that he has got the AMG liveried up ready, and I think he's also got a 911 liveried up. So maybe, just maybe, he is hedging his bets. So we'll see. I think he's going to go with the McLaren. Just because straight line speed in the AMG and all that, but we'll see. Terminator, the first of 3, I think, 3 or 4 ART entrants we've got in the World Cup this year. He's also gone for that GR Supra, and you can see him almost losing his back end in the intro video, to be fair. Slipping down in 10th, Captain Mills. Wiggy, he's gone for the BMW. He set his stall out early doors with that. And last but not there's Willard there. Willard's gone for Willard with the AMG. Loving the livery on that as well. Very, very cool. Who have we missed? Hardwire. Where's he gone? He was here. Have I missed him? Oh, there he is. He's gone for the AMG as well. So it looks like the AMG is a more popular choice than you would have thought. But thus far, qualifying wise, the real Osman puts in a very, very solid time with a 1:11.2. Anyone that's competing out the weekend and doesn't get a chance to have a little blast today and wants to have a look at a track guide, and before you point out, yes, we know it wasn't done with BOP settings, but there is a track guide available. You can find it on the YouTube channel right there, done by our very good friend of the Tamed Racing Driver, PM10 Racing. There's also one for round 1 at Interlagos as well, and we will make sure that a couple of weeks before each round there is a track guide up there for you to give you the best possible start to this World Championship. Bonnie Val, we know Bonnie Val's got significant pace. Bonnie Val in that AMG as well. 1:11.216, and that's not far behind Osman at all. Just almost a 1/10 of a second behind Osman to set qualifying there. And it is just a short 5-minute qualifying followed by a 10-minute race, which does seem counterproductive, but it's all about setting the grid. Stormfly currently on road 2 with a 1:11.239, just 0.02 of a second separating Stormfly and Bonnie Val. I'll tell you what, it looks like there's going to be a really, really exciting close run in all 3 categories. We've essentially got Pro, we've got Pro-Am, and we've got Am. So once we finish qualifying next week, everyone will be sorted into their house. It's a bit like Harry Potter. Good evening, Jay. How you doing? You rock up, you get sorted into your house, and that's where you spend the rest of your time. You can, of course, move between groups though. If you qualify in Pro-Am for instance, but you are showing significant pace and are consistently racing with the top guys, you will move up to Pro group. And of course you can move between lobbies based on pace, of course. Wiggy there joining Stormfly on that front row, on that second row with Slipstream, fresh back from his holiday, so hasn't had a huge amount of time to put practice in, sitting there on row 3 with Terminator. That's 2 as Bonnie Val puts in a sub 111 to go on pole. That's a blistering lap here at Willow Springs. Bit guy actually, I love Willow Springs, one of my favourite tracks. So 2 of the ART guys in the top 6, 3 Black Flag and Osman, who is, I believe Osman's running as an independent. Avalon running in 7th, he's got TJ just behind him in 8th from the Netherlands. Willard from the United Kingdom just around the corner from me in 9th, just ahead of Fubar. Nothing really separating them two. Nothing separating Fubar and Speed Freak. So get the results up. I need to save these because well, no I don't, because this is just going to do it anyway. Yeah, so Willard, Fubar, Speed Freak, Hardwire and Captain Mills in the GTR bringing up the rear. Without further ado, let's get cracking with the race here. This will set the grid for our feature race. It will be absolutely full rules, heavy damage, the lot. Everything you'll see will be the feature race settings for the actual event. And don't worry, one or two of you are going to point out that there's bits missing off the screen. I know, I haven't finished it yet. So here we go. 10 minutes. 10 minutes will give us probably about 12-13 laps there or thereabouts. Let's see how we get on. Will Body Val get a good start for the line, or will that Supra of Osman get a good start? Oh, we can see Stormfly got a good run. Can Stormfly get himself up into second? He has done, but has the outside line into turn 1. Bonnie Val already disappearing off up the road. And that, who's that? That is someone disappearing wildly. Oh, Slipstream goes flying. Can we get a replay of what happened there? So we've got the start here. We come into turn 1. Slipstream, it looks like, I can't really see if he got tagged, but he went flying and it's not showing. Oh, there we go. Massive fly there from Slipstream. That puts him right at the back. That's going to give him some significant work to do in this very short 10-minute race here at Willow Springs. All the cars really close together at the moment. Look at that. What a beautiful sight that is. So Bonnie Val leads the way from Stormfly, who got the jump on Osman from that start. Wiggy stays in 4th place with Avalon just 1.1 seconds back. They're both in that BMW, so it'd be interesting to see lap after lap if the pace will be quite similar. You really want to get a bit of slipstream around here, particularly in this section here down to turn 1 and on that long run that takes you round to the final corner. The tip of the penis, shall we say. Yeah, it's not lost on us that the track is shaped like a cock and balls. TJ briefly ahead of Avalon, but look at this battle going on. That's a good battle there between those three. Avalon, Terminator and TJ battling it out through that tricky first switchback. It's quite a high speed corner there. It's one big long sweeping right-hander, but you can go 2 or 3 wide, and that's another car off the track there. Is that Stormfly having a problem? It certainly is. He is facing in the wrong direction. This track can be absolutely brutal, because you've got so much sand everywhere from far as the eye can see that you get one little braking point wrong, you touch a wheel on the grass and or even the sand, and you will go spinning. You have to be so precise around here. So Body Val already 1.9 seconds clear. First hot lap is sub 111 on the first hot lap. That's awesome performance. At the back, that's Stormfly. He's got 1.3 seconds to try and get tack onto the back of Slipstream. We've got another issue up ahead. Who is that for? We're trying to find. who's off the track, but it looks like whatever it was has cleared. So Stormfly, it's Hardwire, there we go. Hardwire having a little bit of a foray with the desert. So that's 3 cars we've seen so far stranded in the desert, 13 seconds back. Slipstream has closed that 16-second deficit to Fubar to 11 seconds. It's not to Fubar anymore, because up ahead there is Captain Mills. Captain Mills is our next victim onto the brown stuff. Not looking good for him. Well, the best thing about this is it gives you an indication of what you need to do, how you need to improve, and where you're making the mistakes. There is Slipstream running in 10th place. He's got Fubar ahead of him in 9th. There's a 7-second gap there. Osman moves up obviously to 2nd with Stormfly's little foray into the desert. Willard slap bang in the middle, pretty much 8th place at the moment. He's got a bit of a gap either side. He's not really closing at the moment on Speed Freak ahead, but he has got a nice comfortable almost 4-second lead over Fubar Ferrantes. Now bear in mind that when we'll have 3 lobbies for qualifying, and for the most part they're going to be based on pace. So you know, you're not going to find yourself, if you're Captain Mills, you're not going to find yourself necessarily in a lobby with Bonnie Val for qualifying. But if you're Stormfly, you probably will. It's that kind of thing. I mean, yes, there's going to be 1 or 2 anomalies. There's going to be drivers whose pace is unknown. So they're not, you know, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's done on overall race pace. No, you're right. If you over push here, the sand absolutely kills you. You've got to know, you've got to understand this track quite well, because it can punish you so badly. And sometimes it is actually better just to back off a little bit here and go for consistency, because there's not many places where if you go into the sand, you're not going to lose 20 seconds. It's so easy to do so, particularly this final turn. If you don't get it right at that final turn, you are so far off the racetrack, you might as well be in another country. So Terminator just up behind TJ. Terminator in the Supra, TJ there up ahead. He is in the BMW M6. I'm not sure which model, but it doesn't really matter. As they go around this sweeping right testicle into almost, I'd say, like an infield section, which just curls round into the smaller, less descended left testicle of the racetrack. I don't know what the corner names are. This is actually a real racetrack as well, which I would love to have a go at this. Absolutely love to have a go on this racetrack in the United States. It's awesome thing. I should use my keyboard more, shouldn't I? There is TJ running in 5th, 1.6 behind Avalon. So 3 BMWs of Wiggy, Avalon and TJ running at the moment in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Shall we do an on-board with Bonnie Val? Let's do this as we start another hot lap. There's a 1:11.1 from Bonnie Val. So into turn 1, you're getting dropped down to 4th gear. You can spin it round turn 1 pretty easily in 4th gear. You head down here, rev it out to 4th if you need to, and keep it in 4th gear, just feathering the brake, feathering the throttle until you can power on through out and up towards this big braking zone, taking yourself down to 3rd gear to get it turned in, 2nd for the rotation, as you've just seen Bonnie Val do there. Again, dropping down to 2nd for the rotation, coming out straight back to 3rd to get on that power. Tucking up now behind Captain Mills, who's having a bit of a nightmare, needs to get out of the way. Blue flags waving, get out the way, Captain Mills, get out the goddamn way. Bonnie Val is trying to find a way through. Captain Mills needs to have a look in the mirrors. Here it is, flat out, absolutely flat, from that left-hander all the way round until the final corner, which is coming up here. And you can take this corner in 5th gear, pretty much around 120, 130 mile an hour. I don't know what that is in kilometres, but it's a bigger number. And that's essentially your lap. It's a very, very short, but very frantic lap around here of 1 minute, well, 1 minute 10.9 if you're Bonnie Val. Not necessarily that quick if you're anybody else, but 2.1 seconds. Osman sticking, very consistent. Look at that, very consistent 1:11s, 1:11.3 to 1:11.6, just 0.3 difference in lap times. And you see Bonnie Val very similar in terms of lap times as well, although there is a second difference. But that could be attributed to being held up there by Captain Mills. There's Wiggy. It's similar times for Wiggy, although he did drop into those 112s around lap 4. So you can see that these guys are all chucking in very similar lap times in those low to mid 111s. Avalon as well, mid to high 111s. TJ, very similar as well, although he's dropped a couple of those outside those 111s, but now finding that rhythm, and he's now closing on the back of Avalon. Is he going to find a way through? It's a very difficult track to overtake. The idea is to kind of get in behind and kind of and harangue and pressure the car in front into making a mistake, into making an error. There are a few spots to overtake, particularly if someone misses an apex. And there is a couple of corners where you can take it round the outside, but it does involve a significant level of bravery. This is one of them. This right-hander here, you can essentially go 3 wide round here and not lose too much time if you are brave. You have to trust implicitly that the other cars you are side by side with don't make a mistake. Here's another place potentially for an overtake. If someone goes wide, you can chuck up the inside there. Here, if it's not necessarily the greatest place to do it. I find actually one of the best overtaking spots, if the car in front of you makes an error and goes wide, is here. You can kind of hug that line when they go wide and make the move. Now, good slipstream here. If they don't get the better exit, you can, on this sweeping right-hander, find a way to kind of do the almost like an in out or out in. You kind of show to the outside and flick it to the inside. Avalon bobbing and weaving, trying to stop TJ getting any real purchase on the slipstream. Now, can he get a run down to turn 1 and make a move under braking into turn 1? He's not quite close enough out of that final corner, but all the way, all over the back of Avalon right now, those 2 BMWs. Plays, of course, into Star Groot's hands, because Star Groot, who is a couple of seconds up the road, doesn't have to worry about Avalon, because Avalon at the moment is trying to keep TJ at bay. Does this force them back into the clutches of Terminator? But this is your 10 minutes. Oh, Body Val makes an error. What happened to Body Val there? So consistent throughout. Heads down. You can see here, I mean, the gap behind, pretty significant, but just gets it all kinds of wrong there. And this is how easy it is for something to go wrong at Big Willow. And through goes Osman on the final lap to take the lead here at Big Willow. What a time to do it as well, with on the final lap of the race. So this just goes to show how close this can be and how difficult it is to maintain position here. It's so easy, just one little lapse in concentration and it's all over. So Osman, rather than Bolival, takes the win from Bolival. Stargroup comes home in third. Good finish there from him. And then the BMWs of Avalon and TJ side by side. Almost Terminator comes across in sixth. Speed Freak is in seventh, 2.9 seconds back, followed by Willard. Then Fubar just ahead of Slipstream in 10th. Stormflyer in 11th, didn't make the final lap. Neither did Hardwire, and neither did Captain Mills. So that was that. How about that? That wasn't too shabby, was it? Tell you what I do need to do. I need to take a picture of the grid thingy, don't I? Let me zoom in and do it. I'm going to take a screenshot as well, but it's just for setting grid purposes, makes life a little bit easier. But there we have it. That was not a bad start there, was it? Might do actually, Hockers. I think we might open a lobby at 8 PM every evening between now and Saturday. Whether we do a full race trim run, I don't know yet. I am working tomorrow, so yeah, it really depends on work and stuff tomorrow. So I will let you know. I will screenshot them indeed. There we go. There's a screenshot there and a screenshot there. And I do need to I'm going to turn off the chat box for the time being. I just need to. I need it to go away when I'm. Oh, I can't upload. Oh dear. So little problems with the servers at the minute still from yesterday. Right. Anyway, sand is indeed awful. You are right. Right, I'm going to change the event settings. I will have a screen to cover all of this by the time we get to the weekend. I just haven't had time to prepare it today. Lots to do, of course. Edit event settings. Load settings, that one. There we go. I've got a keyboard, idiot. There we go. So yeah, I couldn't screenshot my VAT to know what's going on with that. So once I've all ticked in, I can get this grid set. Have I got the calendar to show you? I don't think I've got it up on the... Oh, actually, I might have. Let's have a look there. There it is. There's the calendar event schedule. I knew I had it somewhere. So yeah, qualifying next week on Saturday at Willow Springs. If you're interested in races of KTMs, we've got the KTM Boogie Woogie coming up, bit of Disco Fever. That starts on the 3rd of October. But right now, we're talking about Alphas. Once everyone's ticked in, I can set the grid, of course. And I'm just going to turn the mic off and because I can't multitask because I'm shit at it. In answer to your question, no, I think it's set at dawn if I remember rightly. Yeah, it's dawn. It's not night time, so it will get light as the race goes on. Not hugely, but yeah, it's a dawn start. Right, back in a couple of minutes. I'm running well behind, so a couple of bits I forgot to do before I started. See you in yeah, a couple of minutes. Right, I've returned. I was going to try and get everything set up ready for the rest of the overlay, but I ain't got time. Not going to do it. Press the right button to be useful. There we go. So, grid is set. Everyone is ticked in. We're going to start in 1 minute's time. This is full race settings. This will be the settings for round number 1 of the GT Alphas GT3 World Championship. The first GT Alphas World Championship. We'll have plenty more coming to you throughout 2024. They won't all be GT3, of course. That will be... the GT3 champion will be able to hold that title for some time before they have to relinquish. Really looking forward to seeing what kind of pace these cars have got over the 40 minutes. It is a free choice for tyres. You can use any combination of tyres you wish. There's no mandatory compounds. You can use all softs or all mediums or all hards if you're that way inclined, or if you really want to, you can use wet ones. It is very likely there will be wet races. Full damage is on. So if you wreck your car, you're going to have to repair it. And because of that, of course, we will have full stewarding throughout the series. So bear in mind, and I would like to stress this to anyone that's going to get involved in this championship. If there is a stewarding decision against you, the damage done to the car will play a significant factor in the size of the penalty. So if you hit the car and they go off the track and then they come back on and there's no damage done, you'll still get a penalty, but it might only be a 5-second penalty. If, however, you hit a car and absolutely wreck them and force them to go and get engine change and all that kind of thing, your penalty will be consummate to the time that they have lost. So do bear that in mind when you're driving around here. Be careful. It keeps you honest, I think. I think you just have to be that little bit more careful. Right, let's ready everyone up. And get cracking. Right, my chair's in the wrong place. There we go, that's better. Because if I don't put my chair in the right place, I can't put my keyboard out. There we go. Keyboard out. Right, everyone's ticked in. Let's get cracking. So we start at dawn. All the lobbies will be identical for the sprint race, but for the feature race, it is completely and utterly random. Because it doesn't have any effect on the following race, it doesn't really matter. It's all about the randomness of the weather and the dynamic weather you get in GT7, and really utilising some of these great features. So there we go, 5 lights, and we are away. 40 minutes of racing, and I'm sorry I don't have the race timing up, didn't get it sorted in time. It will be ready, of course, for the weekend. And into turn 1 we go. It's looking pretty good, no one damaged. Couple of cars getting a little bit feisty through there, but I think these guys know it's a 40-minute race. You're not going to win it in turn 1. Bonnie-Val, can Bonnie-Val take this to the end? Remember, Bonnie-Val led from the start to finish in the qualifier at Willow Springs, and just made a mistake right at the end, and that allowed Osman to jump in and steal the limelight and steal the pole position. But that didn't last very long, because Bonnie-Val off the line here into the lead of this race, and already 1.3 seconds clear. Now fuel and tyres are going to be a consideration. It's times 3, not a huge consideration. We're not talking about huge wear and a huge loss in terms of fuel, but you are going to have to think about how you manage your tyres and your fuel throughout the course of the race. Wiggy with a very good start in that BMW, up into second already. Osman recovering from the slow start in that Supra into third position, just 1.2 seconds behind Wiggy, with Avalon breathing down behind. Avalon taking a look around the outside, and side by side they go. Avalon makes the move as they head through the final corner and down towards turn 1, and Osman dives straight in behind Avalon, with Terminator making a move down the outside. And Captain Mills has disconnected from this race. Unfortunate for him. Don't know what happened there, but unfortunately, it's one of those things. It's I'll say necessary evil. It's not a necessary evil, but it's like anything, technical problems do plague the world of racing, and it's all go between these guys, absolutely smashing it between them. Osman, Avalon, TJ, Terminator, 4 cars there battling it out for a place in the top 3. At the moment, it's Osman in the Supra just winning out. TJ now making a move on Avalon up into 4th place. Avalon now dropping down into 5th. At one stage he was 3rd just a few corners ago. Terminator sticking with him. Terminator from ART in 6th place, was 6th, qualified 6th in Willow Springs, so pretty much true to form. Having a look around the outside of Avalon. Avalon now being sandwiched. There is, that's a spin. There's a spin from Terminator, side by side with Avalon through there. And you can see here, we'll go chase cam. You can see he goes round the outside of Avalon, and you can go too wide here, not a problem. But Avalon just, I'd like to say, I don't think I wouldn't say he squeezed him there. He was on the racing line, but just a little bit wide there from Terminator. Maybe Avalon could have given him a little bit more room. The problem being, of course, that he had a car up his inside. Not a lot you can really do if that's the case. And Speed Freak and Avalon side by side there. And Speed Freak in the Supra winning out. And into turn 1, under braking. Who's got the big cojones? It's the American Speed Freak with the cojones. He gets into 6th place. Avalon dropping down the field. Now we know Avalon is an absolute tyre saving and fuel saving master. So could it be that he's just not pushing the car to its full potential and just biding his time until the opportunity arises? There's Willard having a little look initially in that AMG, deciding better of it and just tucking in behind in 8th place. Hardwire there running in 9th. He is 2.7 seconds back, and he's got Fubar 1.9 behind him, looking pretty good in the American muscle at the moment. Terminator in the pit very early. He must have picked up some damage in that little crash, and this is the problem with heavy damage, is you are going to have to repair it. You kind of have to make a judgment when you pick up heavy damage, is how heavy it is, how much time are you losing, and how long is it going to be before you're planning to pit anyway. Those are all things you have to think of, and you have to kind of put that together very quickly while still trying to keep up the pace on the racetrack. Body valve comes round to complete lap 3. So yes, you have to consider all these things, and Terminator clearly looked at all the variables and thought, it's going to be some time before I'm pitting. I'm going to be losing X amount of seconds a lap. It makes sense to make that pit stop. Now, of course, he has now got fresh tyres on, and he could have also put fuel on board, chose not to. But that will change his pit strategy. So he won't have to pit as early as necessarily before. So although he's lost some time and had to repair, that early pit will give him a slight advantage over the later pitters ahead. Slipstream running in 11th place, not quite found his pace yet. Still in holiday mode, I imagine, and he's not quite found the rhythm that you would expect. He is 46 seconds behind the leader at the moment. 31 behind Fubar. I'm assuming he had a little bit of a foray with a wall or a runoff area somewhere. Fubar Falantis running in 10th position, 2.8 behind Hardwire, and he is 1.7 behind Willard. Top 3 remains pretty much unchanged. Body Val already 5.1 seconds clear in the lead of this race, really demonstrating some phenomenal pace here. Already up to speed. Someone been practicing. Wiggy in that BMW is proving that the BMW, despite not being the quickest of cars, very, very true to his nature. He loves that BMW, and he's giving it the all there in 2nd at the moment. Now, we don't know how these cars are going to perform with under full. Bear in mind, this is the first time that we've broadcast and certainly run full race conditions. Certainly as a group. I'm sure one or two of them have set up a little secret lobby to themselves and had little runs, but this is the first time they're really going to get to see how the car performs over the course of a full race. And a nice purple sector there for that BMW. Osman, after that little battle he was having with TJ and with Avalon, now finds himself comfortably in third, within that 1 second gap of Wiggy ahead. Stormfly now in the Porsche 911, still undecided on which car. Either he's undecided or he's just playing little games with us. He doesn't have to reveal his hand just yet. You don't have to pick your car until Saturday. So when you do the qualifier on Saturday, the car you qualify in is the car you are racing in for the entire season. So I think he's doing the right thing. He is hedging his bets with a number of different cars and finding out which one really is the one that matters for him, the one that he feels most affinity with. And I think the short list, if I remember right, it's the 911, it's the AMG GT3, and as we saw in the last race, the McLaren 650S, which in itself is a phenomenal car. It's a great car. TJ was firmly in Camp McLaren until today. Now he's opted to go for that BMW, and already you can see a difference in the performance from TJ. He's very much there in and amongst the big boys out front, currently running in 5th position, 1.9 seconds behind Stormfly. Speed Freak, they don't call him Speed Freak for nothing. He's in that Supra, he's running in 6th position, slap bang midfield. I apologise for that shouting. No one's getting killed, they're just messing around upstairs. Slap bang in the middle of midfield, 5 seconds ahead of Avalon. Now I haven't brought up the little tyres and fuel little moniker thingy yet, which it's not quite ready. It will be. I've got a box for it. I just haven't put it on. It's there. It'll be there when I've done it. So I can bring up your live tyre and fuel, but I haven't put it in there yet for anyone to play with. That'll be ready. I'll try and get that ready. If I can, I'll try and get it ready tomorrow. But as I said, I'm quite busy tomorrow. I've got a lot on, so maybe not. We'll see. We will see. There is Hardwire running in 8th place. He's tucking nicely in behind Avalon in that AMG. Interesting position for him, because Hardwire has shown over the course of, I would say, the last sort of 6 months, we've seen a real improvement in not only his pace but his racecraft as well. Very, very solid drives from Hardwire, starting to put in some very consistent laps. Hardwire did for a while, right a couple of years ago when we all started racing together. He did have significant connection problems, which is actually where the name Hardwire came from, because his connection kept dropping out. So he earned himself the nickname Hardwire, and it kind of stuck. And since then, the connection problems have been solved, and issues of going off the track and bits and pieces like that have really been solved as well. He's really been working on his racecraft. How you doing, Race Tech? A little bit late to get involved, but how you doing? Come and check us out on YouTube, buddy. Check us out on YouTube. Fubar, sorry, we're going the other way, aren't we? No, we're not. We're going this way. Fubar Philantis, another driver that really has shown some improvement. Currently running in 9th place. He's gone for the American muscle here, and I can tell you, tyres are struggling a little bit already on those softies. Already finding some significant wear. Now, look, it's quite an abrasive racetrack anyway, particularly through that kind of sort of sector 3, really. Sorry, sector 2, which is quite twisty and turny and quite demanding on the tyres. And there's a lot of braking zones, a lot of feathering of the throttle, and you really have to kind of look after your tyres through there. And then, of course, you've got this very, very, very... And look, it's not straight, but it's flat out, which takes you down to turn 1, which is going to put significant wear on those right-hand tyres going through it to keep the grip nice and solid. I wonder if anyone's going to run on hard compound tyres and go for a long stint. That'll be interesting to see. We're 10 minutes in to the race. I suppose I could take that away so you can see it. That's the one there. Look. 10 minutes into this race, that's what his tyres look like. That's what I can see. There we go. Slipstream, as I said, he's still not quite up to pace. 1:30.9. I say he's not up to pace. He's done a 1:30.9, which is actually the fastest lap of the race. But he started some way back. Didn't have the greatest of starts, and he's given himself some work to do. And Terminator in the pits again. He's picked up a bit of damage now. Is that damage significant enough that he should have pit? Is the really eternal burning question. It looks like he might be taking a break because he's been in there. Well, it's lap 5 for him, so actually it looks like Terminator is having a silent quit. It is only a practice race, but this is not encouraged during a race to be hiding in the pits if it's not going well. But we don't know what lobby he's going to be in yet. We'll see what happens after qualifying. But there is your race leader. Fastest lap for Body Vow is a 1:31.3. Again, very, very consistent. The lap times do not really differ each time around. There's only a few tenths, really, difference between one and another. And that is the sort of consistency that wins races and wins championships. Not the only driver out there capable of doing so. Osman, of course, very, very similar times, 6 seconds back. But listen, we've got some pit stops to go. We've got some tyre wear to be looking at. We are going to be starting to see cars coming into the pits. The level of wear quite different actually across the board, and we can see there that Stormfly in that Porsche 911 has really closed the gap on the back of Star Group, and putting Wiggy in the BMW under a bit of pressure for third position as we come to complete lap number 9 here at Interlagos, and a good exit out of Juncal, and they head down this very, very long straight. It's not it's a fucking straight. If you've got your foot flat out, it's a straight. This very long straight which takes you down to the Centre S, revving that Porsche out like his life depends upon it, getting it changed down, turned in first gear to get that rotation, flicking it back up into second as they head round the second part of the Centre S. Good run out there, and it's turning into actually quite a good battle here this is the battle for second. You've got Osman just ahead, you've got Wiggy there in third, and there with Stormfly, who is at the back of that 3. Now, it only takes one little error. If we look at lap times, there's not really much difference separating them. We've got 31.3 there from Stormfly. We've got 31.6 from Wiggy, 31.3 from Osman. So they're all very similar in terms of pace. And certainly it's going to be an interesting finish. It's going to be about fuel and tyres, I think. And looking at it at the moment, because Stormfly's had to push a little bit, he's had to have used a little bit more fuel. I mean, that is clear, because he was a bit further back, and it was kind of hammer time for it all as the gets a little bit squirrely, the back of that BMW, and that just leaves the door open for Stormfly to make the move. And we'll have a look here. We'll just see as Wiggy comes through, you can see just the back end just wants to step out, and it leaves that gap, and through goes Stormfly up into third place. But he's tucked in now for a nice slipstream, Wiggy, so it's not all over. TJ 5.6 back, he's got a little bit of clean air. No one really challenging him at the moment. Speed Freak, he's 1.3 seconds behind. He can see the back of that BMW, and he's honing in on it. That's his target right now. On board with Speed Freak, here we go. You can see the back of his target, that BMW of TJ, just up ahead. He knows what he's got to do. He knows that 1.3 seconds is that gap, and he knows that if he gets close enough, that Supra has certainly got the power to make moves. In terms of lap times, 32.0 on the board for Speed Freak, 31.7 for TJ. TJ a little bit of an edge in terms of pace, but for how long can he hold him off? And again, consistency for the US driver, Speed Freak, 32.0, 32.5, 32.4. Very consistent from the driver from the United States. The German Serbian in Spain, United Colours of Benetton. He is 7th place at the moment. Now, I talked about his fuel saving and his tyre saving, but I'm going to be brutally honest. Tyres, oh, there's a penalty there for Osman. Can we see where he picked that penalty up? No, he's already got it by that stage, so we don't know where he got that. Yeah, talking of Avalon and tyres, they are in better condition than those around him. So he will be hanging out for that little bit longer than some of the other cars on the racetrack. He is, I was going to say, he's under pressure from Hardwire, but Hardwire getting it a little bit wrong there and just going a little bit wide, and it gives Avalon that breathing space. That also gives Fubar a little bit of buoyancy in the chase down of the Bulgarian driver. 2.4 seconds, and that gap is closing fast. That's the sort of place you do not want to be making mistakes, because it's difficult to get back up to speed after that kind of mistake. It wasn't, it's not a devastating into the wall kind of mistake, but it's difficult enough to get your rhythm back. Particularly, you're 12 laps in, you're starting to think about pit stop. Fubar certainly is thinking about pitting. Hardwire though, tyre wise, that AMG has really been looking after those tyres. He might be able to hang out that little bit longer. I think we're going to see our first straight tyre pit stop, but that'll be from Fubar Ferrantis. And if it's not at the end of this lap 12, it certainly will be at the end of lap 13. Slipstream there, running in 10th. The AMG seems to be very, very studious with the use of the tyres. And Willard, he's getting a blue flag already as Willard from Bolivar. And we're only on lap 11. It's not the longest of racetracks, it's a minute and a half. But, yeah, it's... Willard must have had a problem. Oh, actually, Willard's been in the pits. That would explain a lot. So Willard actually is the first to a pit before Fubar. And he's put on those racing medium tyres. So he's going to go quite long on this stint, opting not to stick with the racing soft tyres. But that would explain why he has just been lapped by Bolivar. And he'll, of course, unlap himself when Bolivar goes in. Talking of going in, there is an ART driver in the pits. It's a silent quit from Terminator. But he will be back. Right, Bolivar. Let's have a little look at. Let's go livery hunting, shall we? Prior to the race, the unmistakable blue and yellow of the Amigos racing team. Whenever you're watching any series of any series ever for where ART are involved, that is what you'll see. You'll see that trademark yellow and blue, the ART logo on the side of the car there, but looking very good. I'll tell you what, it really. I love. I don't think they put out a bad livery to ART. It's always very, very cool looking. There is Stormfly with his 911 livery. He's got 3 distinct liveries for 3 different cars at the moment, all of them looking pretty darn racy. You can see there the logo for the Proper Blokes Club on the side, and of course Swarm 6, who are our 2 partners for the World Championship. Wiggy with his trademark orange, but with a lovely splattering of grey. Some very, very nice livery there for him. With that's on the roof. I think that's the Dopamine logo, which is Swarm 6's. It's not the new single is out now. It's called Cancer. But yeah, check him out. But no, that's looking very, very cool. Of course, with the trademark dragons on those winglet flaps. Speed Freak in, TJ in, Fubar into the pits. These are the first pit stops of the race, and what we said lap 14, didn't we? Well, we didn't. I did, and I was right. I'm always right because I'm brilliant. Avalon, very understated livery, but still very, very cool with the German flag on the side of his car, obviously, and he's gone for the red and black. Hardwire, also red and black livery with the TK. That's a Bulgarian brand of some sort, I would have thought. Running the AMG, but again, another nice livery there for him. The real Osman. He's not the pretend one. He's the real one. He's gone for pretty much what you could argue is that basically a stock cause livery, with just the requirements on the side. I do love that use of the Supra on that massive diffuser sticking out the back of this Supra. He has gone for some some heavy wings on this car. TJ, yeah, the BMW livery is very understated, his liveries, but not to be ignored. He does some very beautiful, very simple but very beautiful liveries. They really do look like race cars. Speed Freak from the US, he's opted not to have that massive, oh no, he has got it, with of course a Punisher on the bonnet there. I was going to say the livery's not all there, but it is actually all there. Looking very bang tidy. Fubar Philantis, American Muscle, just another, what's that saying? Just another start. Oh, just another Saturday night. My eyesight is terrible, isn't it? Looking good. But yeah, a bit of American Muscle there for Fubar, running in 9th. 21 seconds to Slippy. We know he slips. We know that his delivery is good. He is our head of livery, both design and check. And that is Bonnie Val just ahead of him. I would suspect. Terminator is still in the pits. Bonnie Val going in for the pit stop. So he wasn't lapped for long. That was our Slippy. He's staying on the soft compound tyres. And Willow Springs gone for a very it's a very AMG, you can with the little those little AMG signs, the Mercedes-Benz signs on the back there, and yeah, very cool. Again, understated but very beautiful livery on that AMG. So Bonnie Val in, Star Groot in, Avalon stays out, and we said that fuel saving and tyre saving was his thing, but he has gone in. Hardwire staying out. So Hardwire's done a really good job in that AMG GT3 of looking after the tyres. He's got, I mean, I can show you. He's got some tyre wear left in that car. I reckon he can take this till the full tank is done, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got another 2, maybe 3 laps left in this AMG. And it doesn't seem to be affecting his pace too much. He's been lapping in the 32, the high 32s, low 33s, and he's still doing that even with that tyre wear. This may actually play quite a big part later on in the race. We are just past that 40 minute, just past that halfway point. So going past the halfway point means you can get to the end of this race on the soft compound tyre. So it is a soft race. Bonnie Val, of course. Well, that's it. I mean, if you make it to 20 minutes on the soft tyres, you know you can make it another 20 minutes on the soft tyres. So Bonnie Val back out in second. De facto first, of course, because once Hardwire goes into the pits, Bonnie Val will take the lead. Now, the gap to Osman is actually down to 1.4 seconds. Bonnie Val inexplicably filled the car to the... I don't know if filling the car to the brim was necessary. I didn't see how much fuel Bonnie Val had on board when he came in, but he has filled it to the brim. And look, the problem is, for every second you spend in the pits putting fuel on board, or every litre, it's 5 litres a second. So every time you put 5 litres of fuel in your car, you are adding weight and you're adding time to your pit stop. So you really should be doing the math all the way through the race and working out what you need to put on. Someone that's very good at that, Wiggy. When Wiggy tends to be quite studious with his fuel, and you know it's not often, it happens, it does happen that sometimes he just underestimates it a little bit. Speed Freak goes past up into 5th. But usually he is sort of there or thereabouts in terms of fuel estimation. And look at TJ making a little dive up into 6th place. As Wiggy losing a couple of places there, and TJ moving up into 5th and following Speed Freak through. So that's a bit of a change there for Wiggy. Wiggy at one stage running in 3rd now finds himself back in 7th. But does this play into his hands later on? Has he got a sort of game plan towards the end of this race? With 26 minutes in, firmly into the second half of this race. Hardwire does finally go in. Bonnie Val will go through. How many cars will get through before Hardwire gets out? That's the big question. We know Bonnie Val will, we know Osman will, we know Stormfly will. Stormfly running in 3rd place. Speed Freak not too far behind. He'll come through now. We know that TJ and we know that Wiggy are there, right there. And Hardwire still in the pits, of course, alongside Terminator. Willow Gista going very slowly. Blue flag. So he's letting the faster cars through. Wonder why. For me, I think I've made my feelings pretty clear on blue flag etiquette. Yes, you should be getting out of the way, but no, you shouldn't be slowing yourself down to a snail's pace to let the cars through. I think, if you've got your own race going on, there's the best for me, the best single way to deal with being lapped is to plan ahead. Now, the car behind you is coming at you, like Cleopatra. You can kind of guesstimate distances, so you know that they're X amount quicker than you over the course of the race. So you kind of plan what corner you think it's likely they're going to catch you at. And similarly, if you're the chasing driver, you know when you're going to catch that car ahead of you. And the single best way for me, I think, to deal with blue flags is when you get into the braking zone. You brake as normal, you stay on your racing line, but you just, instead of smashing the accelerator as you would to come out the corner or hitting it full belt, just let off that little bit later before you put down, and then move off that racing line as you come out of the corner. And that allows the car behind just to stick on that racing line and breeze on through. I see so many drivers, pulling off onto the grass and letting people through, and for me that's not, it's not sporting from the person that's lapping you either to expect you to do that. And I'll tell you what really, really balls my piss, right? Really balls my piss. It's when the car behind you is flashing their lights. When they're not. We're not talking about when they're right up your arse like this. We're talking about when they are, 1.52, 2.5 seconds behind you. They're flashing your lights as if you're going to fucking park up and wait for them. I can tell you now, and anyone that's been behind me will and done that will know this. If you flash your fucking lights at me, in some expectation I'm going to get out of your way, I'm going to make it as difficult. I'm not going to block you. I will still let you through, but I'm going to make it fucking difficult for you. So yeah, that's just me being a belligerent arsehole. But yeah, don't be a dick, and you won't get treated like one. But that being said, there's not going to be much racing for me because my wheel is broken and I cannot race with the controller anymore. I don't know how I ever did it in the first place. So TJ right up behind Speed Freak. He's got a very, very good run heading down now towards the Center S. It's BMW versus Supra. That Supra, I think, just has the edge in a straight line over the BMW. But, of course, Slipstream plays a massive, massive difference. He was going to go for the old switcheroo, went a little bit wide to go for the switcheroo, and that just left that door open for Wiggy. We'll have a little look here, because Wiggy's tucked in behind there as well, and Wiggy's looking at what's going on ahead. Now, he can see here what's happening. He sees TJ go a little bit wide, thinks, you know what, I'll have a little look here. Does have a look, and backs out in the end, but that could have been a very, very smart move on the part of Wiggy up the inside into the Center S. I apologise for that. It's what happens when you eat fast because you're running behind. There we go. So, BMW versus BMW, duking it out there for 5th and 6th. It's Wiggy on TJ. Speed Freak just ahead of them. This seems to be the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. Looking at Osman, he had closed the gap to within 2 seconds. But Bonnie Val has gone hammer time again. Osman has put in the fastest lap of the race though, with a 1:30.6. So there is certainly sub 31s there. Now, here's the hunker burning question, because we don't know what the settings are going to be like. Because it's random weather, We don't know what the weather's going to be like, and therefore the track conditions in the feature race during round 1. Optimum conditions, and we could, I think, see a sub 130 lap. 6/10 is, well, just almost 7/10, but with an optimum lap, a light car, a bit of slipstream rubbered in. I see no reason why we can't see these top end drivers knocking on the door of a sub 130 lap here. Don't think we're going to see it today, but watch this space in round 1, folks, because I think it's on. Race leader Bonnie Val, 2.6 seconds clear for the Amigos Racing team. Osman running as a privateer, or for the Cause Light team, however you want to look at it. Currently second. Just behind him, though, of course, that is Stormfly. Just 0.3 of a second in that Porsche 911. Stormfly, of course, running for the amazing, the indubitable, I don't even know what that word means, Black Flag Racing team. And don't be alarmed, there are a number of Black Flag drivers in GT Alphas, and there would be, because we organised it. So, yeah, don't be surprised if you see a Black Flag driver in your lobby. So a little bit more about Alphas and how does it work. So we have a qualifier next week. 3 lobbies of qualifiers where everyone will race around Big Willow. At the end of that, we'll take all of that data from the qualifiers, and the fastest person across all 3 lobbies, not just the first lobby, the fastest person across all 3 lobbies, as Stormfly goes for. That's a massive move around the outside. Why was Osman quite so slow there? It looked like Osman almost let him through. What happened there? I'm trying to see what happened, because was it that big of a slipstream differential? It certainly looks like it. I think under braking, just that 911 was just so much better under braking. So he's through and up into second place. I'm going to go back and leave it with this 3-way battle here between. Oh, he's off between these 2 BMWs duking it out. We'll leave this battle up on screen because it is still fighting it out. Yeah, so the qualifier, essentially, it is a 30-minute, essentially sprint race around Big Willow. No worry about fuel or tyre consumption. The settings across the lobbies will be identical. The track and the conditions and everything, absolutely identical. We will take all the data from those 3 races, and somebody that won their race, it could be lobby 1, could be lobby 2, could be lobby 3, will be on pole and will be in lobby 1 for Interlagos. Essentially, the top 1/3 of drivers will move into the pro group and straight into lobby number 1. The second third will be the Pro-Am drivers. They will slot straight into lobby 2, and the final third of drivers, in order of race pace, will slot into lobby 3, and they will be the AM drivers. And that's how they will line up for the grid for the sprint race, which is a 20-minute sprint at the here at Interlagos. And what will happen is that will be a 20-minute sprint, and again, it's not really a tyre and fuel kind of race. It's just a balls out sprint to the finish. That will set the grid for the feature race, and it's light damage through that particular race. It will set the grid for the feature race, which is this format: 40 minutes of times-free tyres, times-free fuel, starting at dawn around Interlagos. What the sprint race grid also does is it sets the grid for the sprint race the following week, but not just from your lobby. The data from all 3 lobbies is collated, and the fastest 1/3 will go into lobby 1, etc, etc, etc. So you could find yourself winning lobby 2 in week number 1 and quite easily being on pole in lobby 1 in week 2. It's that simple. And you would think by the time we get to week 3, week 4 of the competition, that the big boys are all racing together in lobby 1, and everybody else is spread out amongst the essentially you're racing with your peers. So we should have some good, solid, interesting battles. But we've seen already that there are some battles to be had here at Interlagos. We've seen that Osman and Stormfly battling it out. We've seen Speed Freak, Wiggy, TJ. They're all pretty close. Avalon now, 16 seconds back from that battle, so potentially wants to get involved in that. 39 off the leaders. 3.7 ahead of Fubar, who's got himself up into 8th. Just ahead of Hardwire, who's running in 9th. Pretty much been solid. He's just done his fastest lap of the race with a 1:31.7. Going to have to be a little bit cute with the fuel, I think. Willagista, he is running in 11th place behind Slipstream. It looks like he's been lapped by pretty much everyone bar Slipstream now, I think. But we did see him pull over and drive at like 20 kilometers an hour and let people through. So let's have a little looky-see fuel-wise. Body Val could go for another 25 laps. So much fuel put on in the pit stop, it was just unnecessary amounts of fuel put on. Stormfly make it to the end without a problem. Osman as well. They both fueled a lot less than Bonnie Val in the hope to close it up. Now I don't know whether Bonnie Val forgot to press stop on the fuel pose or thought, let's try and make it a bit closer and see what happens. We will see what we will see. This battle's still raging on, still going on between these three. At the moment, that's TJ. He is 6/10 behind Wiggy. Wiggy desperately trying to find a way through. Now, we've got probably 2 laps remaining for these guys as Wiggy makes a move up the inside of Speed Freak. Let's have a little looky see how that played out. I'm looking at the one, there we go. So gets a really good run out of the centre S down towards I forgot the bloody name of it. I keep thinking it's Curva de Sol, but that's a Monza. And under braking, sticks to that inside line, hugs that inside curb, and gets that BMW up into 5th position, 4th position even. So there we go, 17 seconds off the top 3. Not likely to be knocking on the door of the top 3. There is just 1 minute of this race remaining. Now, who's not going to get another lap? I think Avalon should just make it. Fubar, I think Fubar will. I think Hardwire will. I think Slipstream and Willard might not get another lap here. Looking at where Willard is definitely not getting another lap here. This is his last lap now. Slippy, possibly. No, actually, I think he will. So everybody bar Willard got another lap. Terminator, of course, finished on lap 5. I don't know whether that was terminal damage or what was going on there. Maybe personal issues, but stopping in the pits. So Body Val, looks like Body Val's going to bring this home, and quite convincingly. At one stage, 6 seconds clear here at Interlagos, rounding the last. This little twisty, I like to call it the karting section because it is very much a car racer's dream. This little succession of corners, this left right combo. Really cool little succession of corners before you get on the power, heading down into Juncao for the final time. And here we go, on to the power. AMG GT3, no messing around, we're getting it wrong on the last lap this time for Bonnie Val. Loads of fuel on board, loads more than necessary, one might argue. Heading down towards the line, and Bonnie Val for the Amigos Racing Team in this training session for the World Championships takes the win from Stormfly of Black Flag, coming home in 3rd, not too far back. That's the Supra of Osman coming home in 3rd. And Wiggy, after making that move on Speed Freak, he'll come home in 4th place. Now, has anyone run out of fuel? That'll be interesting to find out. There comes Wiggy round that final bend. Final gap actually 1.9 seconds. I had a little bit of pace to spare. Speed Freak across the line in 5th. TJ close in 6th. No fuel left on board there. Avalon home in 7th. 16 seconds back. I love the way that TJ literally has 0 fuel left. So made it, but only by the skin of his teeth. Avalon across the line, the BMW in 7th. There is Hardwire, 5.1 seconds back in the AMG. Good finish for him in 8th. 8.69 seconds ahead of Slipstream, who is out of fuel and is about to lose 9th place to Fubar Phalantis on the last lap. Fubar sticking side by side with, as he ran out of fuel as well. It's a drag race to the line with no fuel. Fubar just edging it over Slipstream with no fuel left on board. That was interesting. So some lessons learned for everybody. Slippy in 10th, Willard home in 11th, Terminator will classify 12th, having parked up in the pits at the end of lap number 5. That was awesome, was it not? I really hope we can save the replay here. As you saw earlier on, I had some problems saving the screenshots from the qualifying. So yeah, I know there were some significant problems with Sony last night. Hoping they don't transfer over to this evening and we can get that replay saved. It could be that I've just filled up all my space, to be fair. I have put an awful lot of replays on there in the last few days making videos and stuff. I do need to have a bit of a clear out. But that's a job for later in the week. I'll do that when I'm getting the rest of the artwork done. But there you have it. If you were sitting on the fence and thinking, I'm not sure if I want to do into this competition, that's what this is all about. That is really your last big hurrah to have a look, because tomorrow is livery deadline day. You can change your car before Friday if you wish, but you must have your livery approved by tomorrow for the qualifier on Saturday. The groups for qualifiers will be announced on Friday evening, along with the hosts and where you should be and etc, etc, etc. I'll host and broadcast lobby 1, and then I will this way it's going to work. I'm speaking to a couple of broadcasters in the hope to have them all broadcast fully live. If that's not the case and I can't get the negotiations done in time, I will rebroadcast every lobby that isn't done live. So rest assured you will see all of the action, and I will do it without looking at the results. So there we have it. Congratulations to Bonnie Val. Sets the stall out early on for this World Championship. Brilliant performance from Bonnie Val. Let's bring up those final classified results, shall we? Shutting that down. So Bonnie Val in the Mercedes AMG GT3 with a 1 minute 30.7 as the fastest lap. So this is what we'll do, is we'll take, you can see there that time, that overall race time. That is how we will decide who goes where when we look at the final results after qualifying and sprint races and stuff. Stormfly second, Osman in third, Wiggy in fourth, Speed Freak home in fifth. That's a good result from the American driver. TJ home in sixth, Avalon in seventh, Hardwire comes home in eighth. Can I screenshot that? That seemed to work. Fubar in the Corvette was ninth. After both he and Slipstream ran out of fuel. Just Slipstream ran out of fuel first in the AMG GT3. Willard home in 11th place. Terminator in the GR Supra from ART. He's not still running, he's sitting in the pits. And unfortunately Captain Mills got disconnected quite early on. There we have it. Done. Shall we get the replay saved? Yes, let's do that. Saving the replay. Right, there we have it. So, are we ready for some GT Alphas at the weekend? I think we might be. If I am available, I will run some practice lobbies and just leave them open. I think just particularly for Willow Springs now, because we've got the qualifier on Saturday. I think people are going to want to run some laps around Big Willow just to make sure they're ready for the qualifier on Saturday. But all that's left for me to say is thank you for joining me. I've been Urban Pirate from Black Flag Racing. This is Black Flag Racing TV with the GT Alphas GT3 World Championships preview. And it's been emotional.